platform on which we speak about anything love, marriage, sex, and relationships. They call me Uncle WHYTE. I am a playwright and the CEO of Roverman Productions. And I'm so grateful that you could join us today. Now, today is a very significant day for me and for my ENCORE team, because today we bring to an end, a conclusion, the ABCs of Love. It's a series we began 26 weeks ago. And what we've done is that every week we've picked a letter of the English alphabet, and we have tried to see what words that begin with that particular letter we can learn from. And we've done all 25 of the alphabets, and today we conclude with the last one. So it is a very significant day for me. I'd like to make a personal statement. When we started this, I didn't think that we would go 26 weeks. I was hoping we would do 3 or 4 weeks, combine a number of the letters and flow. But as I researched the topics and as I got involved in the alphabets, I realized each letter has so much to teach us. Each letter has so many relevant words, and we couldn't skip any of them. We couldn't ignore any of them. And even then, the 4 or 5 letters words that we brought, we focus on every week. We could have done 10. We could have done more than that. So welcome to the ABCs, the conclusion of the ABCs of love, the zest words. Zest words. And today, our zest words are very interesting. We are looking at zest for zip, the things you should zip if you are in a relationship or you are in marriage, and we'll separate what the men need to zip and what the women need to zip. And then we'll look at the place of zero in a relationship. We'll look at what it means to have zest in your relationship. Zest, or the same word zinc, that is sing with Z instead of S. The two mean the same thing. Zest and zinc mean the same thing. And then we'll conclude the whole series and this presentation with zenith. Zenith. And I think it's the appropriate word on which to conclude the series. And I am looking forward to it. So once again, you are welcome. Before we take a little break, before I bring you the presentation, let me share with you something that I just came upon just yesterday. A famous actor in an interview is asked, what makes a real man? And his answer has got me totally intrigued. He said 2 things. First of all, it is a man who can satisfy one woman over a lifetime. And second, it is a man who can be satisfied with one woman for a lifetime. Think about that. I'll be back.
Honey, I have laid the bed. Baby, honey, tomorrow I have a meeting. I have a business meeting tomorrow.
Sir? Oh, sweetheart. Here, take this.
Get the best-selling novels, The Deal, and Perfect Couple by Uncle WHYTE at 40 Ghana cedis each. Available at all Shell shops, selected bookshops, and total filling stations. For inquiries, call 050-554-6010 or WhatsApp 050-554-6030 for your copies.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. Oh, before I go on, one of the men that my friendship with whom I value so much is the Apostle General, Reverend Sam Kranchi Ankara. Today is his birthday. Please, if you have any link to him, please send him a message and pray for him. Apostle General, I am praying for you. You are you are an inspiration. God continue to bless you, your wife, and the whole family, and renew His anointing upon you and upon your ministry. Well, so now we begin. The first zest word, zest for zip. Now these are things you should zip in marriage or in a committed relationship. Now look at what men need to zip first, and then I'll look at what women need to zip. So now the first thing, what men need to zip in marriage is that they should zip their flap. They should zip their flap. Now, failure to do that will cost you a lot. It will cost you your marriage. It will cost you self-respect. It will cost you money. It will cost you your health. It will cost you your peace of mind. Now, how should a man zip his flap? What are some of the factors that can help a man to zip his flap? And it is important for us to consider this because, you see, people think that once you get married, you are safe from temptation. I'm here to tell you that is not the case. When you get married, the temptations become even more pronounced and sharper. And therefore, the importance to control yourself and to have a victory over your sexual urges is much more important as a married person. So first, understand that you are never immune to sexual temptation. Never said, oh, but I'm married. No, you are at a greater risk as a married person. 2, watch how close you get to the opposite sex. Don't take it for granted. Watch how close you get to the opposite sex. 3, don't underestimate your appeal or attractiveness as a married man to members of the opposite sex. Sometimes there are men who get into trouble because they have always had this, oh, they know I am married. No, you are more attractive because they know you are married. So you better be careful. 4, watch what you say and do for the opposite sex. You may have all the good intentions and you may be doing things with good intentions, but it's communicating something different to the opposite sex. So be careful. 3 and 5, don't hide your friendships with females from your partner. Once you do that, you hide the closeness you have with females from your partner, you are setting yourself up to be flawed. 6, beware of the romance and appeal of the unknown. And this is what I mean. You meet a girl and you wonder, oh, what if I had married her instead of my wife? Hey, be careful. You never know. 7, ask yourself, if the roles were reversed and this woman that you're giving attention to becomes your spouse, how would she react if you were developing the same kind of relationship with another woman? How would she take it? And I tell you, she will not take it any better. She may take it worse than your wife, so be careful about that. 8, take responsibility for your feelings. You know, there are men who say that, oh, she makes me feel special. She makes me feel some way. No. She doesn't do anything. It is your feelings. You have brought those to the table, so take responsibility for that. She is doing nothing for you. 9, the relationship you are building right now will come back to bite you, so be careful. 10, it is totally not worth it. 11, it will not stay a secret forever. So remember that. One day, it will blow up in your face. And when you think about that, I hope it makes you cautious. 12, it is easy to love many women. It takes a real man to stay faithful to one. So when you find yourself loving more than one woman, it doesn't make you a man. It makes you less of a man because you don't have the courage to love one person. Real men love one woman over a lifetime, and real men are satisfied by one woman over a lifetime. That's why I began that with. Now, we've seen what men should zip in marriage. Let's go for the women. What should women zip? Women should zip their lips. They should zip their lips. Failure to do so will destroy your relationship. It will cause you pain and pain to all those you love. It will earn you a bad name. It will affect your children. It will invite stress and tension into your life and into your home. How should a woman zip her lips? 1, understand that it is not good. It is not cool. I know, and I'm making this point because sometimes, depending on the home in which you are raised, the environment in which you are raised, you will think it is normal for a woman to just give everybody the piece of her mind, or to give the people the full length of their tongue. But it's not cool. There are people who say, "Oh, I gave him a piece of my mind." Well, that's why you don't have all the brains you should have, because you've been giving it away. Keep some for yourself. 2. Remember that words cause more harm than the sword or machete. Remember that words cause more harm than machete and sword. 3. Also remember that you cannot withdraw or erase words once spoken. So be careful. 4. Go and study the Bible and see what the Bible says about women who can zip their lips, and you will not like it. For instance, the Bible says that it is better to live in the corner of a roof than with a woman who knocks. And this is one of the kinder ones. Go and read the others. You will find. 5. Remember that men have very fragile egos, and once bruised, you cannot heal them. 6. Pick your fights carefully. Not every fight is worth fighting. Not everything is worth backing at. Take your time. 7. Bitter and angry and caustic words cause physical pain to a man. You know, when you unleash angry, bitter words on a man, he feels it almost as if you are beating him. So, and men run away from pain. So be careful. 8. Don't take counsel of an angry, disappointed woman. If you have issues in your relationship, don't go to that girl who has had a failed relationship, or that girl who was already mad with a father, with a husband, and say, "What should I do?" She would just convert you to be like her. She would create you under her own image. 9. If you're upset or angry, hold your tongue. Don't talk. 10. Remember, there is always a better time to raise the issue and a better way to go about it. So that's the first Z word, zip. Men have to zip their flaps because it gets us into trouble more than anything else. Thank God that we don't wear skirt, because that would have been easier to get us into trouble. Women have to zip their lips. Now the second Z word, zero. Now, by zero, I am referring to things, and I'm giving you 2 kinds of zero. The first zero is things that have no place in a relationship. And then we'll look at another zero, the second zero, which are things that are not worth trying to eliminate in your relationship. So let's look at the first zero. These are things that have no place, so there should be 0 place for them in your relationship. 1, abuse, be it physical, emotional, or verbal. It's a no-no. 2, disrespect. Disrespect in action, disrespect in words, disrespect even in body language. There are people who will not say anything, but their body language is such that if they had insulted you, it would have been better. 3, interference from third parties, be they exes or in-laws or friends or even children. Be careful. In a marriage, it's a 0 tolerance for interference from third parties. 4, distrust. There must be no distrust in marriage. It means that you should not do anything that would give cause for distrust. And then you, on the other side, must also put the best possible interpretation on the actions of your partner and not give in to distrust. 5, unforgiveness or harboring grudges. 0 place in marriages. 6, secrets. 0 place. 7, neglect of your partner. Failing to give your partner attention. It should not happen. There should be 0 place for that. Having an affair. 0. It should have 0, 0. Let's make that one double 0. Then 9, comparisons. Comparing your partner with your ex, comparing your partner with somebody's wife or somebody's husband Or haven't you seen her joy and her husband? You don't know what's happening there. Stop that. There should be zero place for comparisons. 10, and this is big, there should be zero denial of sex in marriage. There should be zero denial. If your partner makes a move, there should be zero place. Now, let's now look at the other things that are not worth aiming for. The zeros that are not worth aiming for. In other words, these are unexpected, unrealistic expectations. So these are the zeros that are not worth aiming for. Zero conflict. Don't think that if there is a conflict in your relationship, it is bad. Sometimes a bit of conflict is good. Conflicts have a certain purpose, especially if you know how to fight right. It always moves the relationship to a higher level. If you have a conflict and you resolve it right, the relationship never remains the same. The relationship is elevated to the next level. Zero loneliness. If you are in this relationship because you thought you would never be lonely when you get married, na lie. You would be lonely. So make room for that. 3, that the two of you would never be separated. No. Life being what it is, there will be times when you can't access each other. Work, illness. So prepare your mind for that. It is not 4, it is not worth aiming for zero friends. Especially your wife needs her friends, and pray that she gets good friends. So your partner having friends is not a bad thing. Pray that the friends are good friends. And again, you remember I said that there should be no denial of sex. Well, under some circumstances, when your partner is denying sex, try and find why it is happening. So there may be that there hasn't been a resolution of a conflict. If there is, then remember to resolve the conflict before you make the move. So that brings me to the end of the zeros in marriage. Let's now go to zest or zinc. The two words are the same. They all begin with Z. Now, zest is defined as bringing an enjoyable, exciting quality to something, to either your career or something. But in this context, we are talking about you bringing it into your home, into your relationship. So how do you bring zest into your relationship? 1, and let me make a very quick comment. I am not giving you any extraordinary things, because I think that if we did the simple things we all know, we'll be fine. So I'm going back to basics. So 1, address any outstanding issues. Don't go looking for fantastic things to impress your partner. The issues that you have, make time to resolve them. And then you'll find that your relationship will take on an enjoyable and exciting quality once again. 2, related to addressing outstanding issues, render any outstanding apologies. Something you did 3 years ago, you haven't apologized. Your wife hasn't forgotten. Go and apologize over that, because it's holding her back in certain ways. 3, express appreciation and gratitude. It will amaze you what just that simple thing would do in bringing such excitement and fun into your relationship. 4, spend an evening just visiting each other. Just visiting each other. Assume that your wife is a good friend you've gone to visit. Sit down and talk. Do you understand me? Enjoy each other's company. You have come to visit. As we say in Ghana, maybe srao. So sit down and sra your wife. And let your wife also sra you. 5, deliver your own State of the Nation address, except that this time make it State of the Relationship address. So I call that sutra. The other one is sona. This one is sutra. So State of the Relationship address. So the two of you sit down. Now each of you take turns. Where are we in our relationship? How are we doing? What are we doing right? What can we do better? What goals can we set? It will amaze you how far that will go. 6, Relive your early courtship days. Go back, memory. Bring back your memory bank and exhaust it. 7, do the simple things you used to do at the beginning. At the beginning, we were all good lovers. So we were all good lovers. It is as time came and went and issues came that we let go of certain things. So go back to basics. Do the simple things you used to do. Like open doors for her. Call. Call during the day. Send a text. Kiss. Hold. Hold hands. Simple things. 8, keep the bedroom clean and organized and tidy. It's amazing what happens when you enter a bedroom and it's clean. It is the appeal of a hotel room for sex because it is clean. Turn your bedroom into a hotel room and see the effect. 9, remember that small gestures can make a huge impact. Small gestures. 9, dress up for a date. Dress up for a date. You know, this means a lot more to the women than the men. Men, we can go to a date, we can go to supper at a 5-star hotel, if you give it a chance, with T-shirt and jeans. Don't do that. Dress up. Let your wife also dress up. Give her money to go and do her hair. Let her do it the same. Then let her go and take selfie and let her send to her friends and see how much they would jealous her. 11, go and pick her from her office, even though she has a car, and make a date of it. So your wife may have a car, you too, you have your car. She closes and you are at the car park and say, today you are not driving, I'm driving you home. But don't go straight home. Pass somewhere, get something to eat or drink before you go home. 12, try something new in the bedroom, on the bed. Try something new. I know that many of you do the missionary thing, but there's more than the missionary thing, do you understand? So try something new. 13, take what you do in the bedroom outside the bedroom from time to time. So some of the things that you've reserved for the bedroom, once in a while, do it outside and throw everybody out of the house and do it. But if they won't go, shock them. Let them see you do. 14, go for a weekend and or a holiday. Go, leave town, go out. Go look for somebody to take care of the children, and the two of you go. Any opportunity you get, 15, make an occasion of it. Make an occasion of it. I was taking an award in Kumasi, and I went with Florence, and we made an occasion of it. So make an occasion of it. 6, remember this word, surprise. Surprises, surprises, surprises. Small surprises, big surprises, it doesn't matter. They all work. So let's also think, the things that she's not expecting you to do. You're going home, bring something, drop it. 17, write a sincere love letter to your spouse, spelling out why you feel blessed to have them in your life. 18, talk about your sex life. Talk about what you like. And 19, ask questions. Ask your partner what he or she enjoys, and so that you know exactly what to do. And finally, 20, I think we have more than 20. Okay, so 20, send the children out to grandma or to auntie and make the evening or the weekend just about the two of you. Reclaim your house back from the terrorists in the house. Do you understand? So the two of you can 21, leave a present for her while she's asleep. And so she wakes up and there it is. Leave a note. 22, leave a note in his pocket. And then he dips into it and he finds it's there. 23, don't go home empty-handed. Every now and then, go with something. I've already been asked to bring something home today, so I'm going to pick someone's pocket and make sure I deliver. 24, start something in the car on your way home. And I'm talking to adults. Don't just sit and drive and let us sit there looking at cars going by. You remember what you used to do during courtship? No. Now do it in the car. Start it again before, so that by the time you get home, things have already started cooking. Do you understand what I'm talking about? 25. take a day off. Take a day off from work, and the two of you stay home. Break the schedule of dashing out of the house to work, and the two of you stay home. So that is that is about the last one. Chrissy, there is one more Z, zenith. I'm not seeing it on the. Okay, so now we've done 3 words. Let me go on to the final Z word, zenith. Zenith is referred to mean being at the top of your game, being at the top of something, having achieved everything. And I think it's a good way to end this series with that: aim for the zenith of your relationship. And this is what I wish for you at the zenith of your relationship. That the two of you are so comfortable with each other, that you have become one, not just in body, but in spirit and in soul. That your children are well positioned in life, and they are established and are not dependent upon you. That at your zenith, you will not be dependent upon your children. There are too many couples that are hoping to live their old age dependent upon their children. No, that your children would have a legacy from you. That your past struggles would make you wiser and more loving towards each other. That you would have come to the point, a place in your life where you accept each other completely and love each other completely. That you'd have come to the point where if one of you is not around, the other would miss him or her very, very much. That your love making will get sweeter and more exciting and fun, even though you are in your 60s and 70s. That you will shock the children from time to time with how much fun the two of you are having. That you could sit with your partner without television, without the phone, and have an incredible time just reliving your lives together, just enjoying each other, just feeling blessed to have each other. That the two of you can tease each other without any fight. You just having fun teasing each other, and both of you can laugh and laugh and laugh and leave your children and your grandchildren wondering, what are the old people up to? That is the zenith I pray for you. And I pray you'll get there. I pray that this relationship you have will not be short-term, that it will be over a lifetime. That it will be truly be till life do us part. And that it will be enjoyable every way. You know, I believe in happily ever after. I believe in that. And I wish that for you. Thank you very much for staying with us. It's been fun bringing it to you. I have learned a lot. I have grown through developing this series. And I'm going to put it together as a publication, and we'll make it available to those of you who would want to have it for reference and to read and to pass it on. So once again, thank you very much for staying with us. We'll take a little break, and when we come back, we'll be doing your questions and your comments. So stay on. Please don't leave.
Thought-provoking, motivational, inspirational, attitude, values, faith, soul-inspiring content, value for money. New Look, the magazine that reports on our values, attitudes, and faith for discerning people. Rover Report Monthly Magazine. Get your copies from all Shell shops, Total shops, and a supermarket near you. Or call 0302-231188 for subscription.
Hello, they call me Uncle WHYTE. I am the CEO and Artistic Director of Rogoman Production. What matters now is that I am committed to you becoming the best you can be. I am so committed to you becoming the best you can be in life. Join me on Facebook Live and I'll be sharing with you what happens, what goes wrong when we move from courtship into marriage, what to ensure, how to ensure that your marriage becomes one continuous courtship. Join me there with your questions and let your friend join you and let's have fun. Well, thank you very much for staying with us and for coming back. We are back and I am grateful that you stayed. We'll take your questions. I've just been given an indication that a comment I made is becoming is getting quite a lot of response. That start whatever you're going to do at home in the car before you get there. And I was telling the group here that you see, when you are driving and your wife is sitting by you, your hands are not just for changing the gears, and her hands are not just for fidgeting with the phone. So have fun, but. And don't worry, you'll get home quick. You'll get home safe. Yeah, I mean, you'll get home. You'll get home safe. All right. Yeah. Any questions?
We have a question from Ekuya Johnson. She says, "Please, Uncle Ebo, if one partner is bent on building a legacy for the children so much that most of their current needs aren't being met properly, example, school trips, swimming, how can I convince him that their current needs are as important as the legacy?"
One of the things that I like that should happen at your zenith is that the two of you will take time to enjoy what you've worked hard for. I think that couples make a mistake when they think their primary thing is to be good parents. You must be good spouses first, because it is then that your children feel the security that they need to feel to become the best they can be. So yes, give some attention to the children, but they should always come secondary to the attention you give to each other as a married couple. And don't forget, the children will leave home. They will leave the two of you one day, and they will leave you at your worst time. So build a relationship now with your spouse so that when the children leave, there will not be any vacuum for the two of you.
Okay, Selma says, "Uncle, please, you said women should zip their lips, and I totally agree. But I would like to know if men should also zip their lips sometimes. Sometimes men discuss their relationships with their male friends, like a boys thing. Is it okay?"
No, it is not. It is not. And you are definitely right. But you realize that when I talked about men zipping their flap, I didn't ask the women to also zip something. So it goes both ways, please. I just concentrated on the most guilty gender for each of the points.
Mami Jama has a comment. She says, "Uncle, seeing a woman's nude on your husband's phone and
seeing a woman's
nude picture
on your husband's phone,
yes, and seeing his being sent to her, dear, there needs to be a fight and a talk in regards to women zipping their lips."
And then you fight to what end? There's always a good way to do it. Now, of course, something is wrong. This is not right. Something is wrong, but your approach will determine whether you get your man back and your relationship back, or whether you lose completely to that nude girl.
Juliet Ofori says, "Thanks, Uncle. Started with you from the letter M, and it's been fun and very educative. God bless you."
Thank you.
And Viva Adeko says, "What does a woman do when her efforts are taking their sex life to another level? Is always taken the wrong way by her husband. Meanwhile, Opanatu will not bring any new styles."
Ekuya, my message. Why? Yes. What is she saying now?
He says, "What does a woman do when her best efforts to spice up her sex life is interpreted wrongly by the husband? Meanwhile, the husband too won't bring any new ideas.
Yeah, you just married an Okrasini. He doesn't appreciate what you're doing. I know there are cases where a woman brings something new, and the man gets suspicious and says, "Where did you learn this from?" But talk through these things, and develop a better relationship, so that when you talk about it and you do it, it is not seen as you are a bad girl. And the men there, if your wife loves sex, and if your wife likes getting freaky in the bedroom, she's not a bad girl. She's just a woman, and she's helping you. And instead of criticizing her, celebrate that girl, because all the men envy you for that. So celebrate her and let her feel good. And you too, up your game.
From Tabitha. Uncle, what do you do when you try to implement some of these powerful points, but your spouse's response to it makes you feel down? He will not do it to you and will not respond to yours too. What can you do?
Oh, that is always difficult, but stay your course. Be what you know you should be. And someday, he will wake up and recognize what a blessing you have become to him. And he will change. It may not happen overnight, but eventually he will see the difference.
Adumi Shira says, what should I do? What should you do if a man tells you, I wonder what informed my decision in marrying you, as I had options before you came my way, after having 2 kids for him?
Come again. The man after 2 cases asking you.
Yeah, what informed my decision to marry you?
Well, don't respond to a question like that. Don't respond to him. This is obviously somebody who is struggling with the challenges of building a good relationship. He is blaming his wife. He doesn't realize that whoever he marries, he will come to this state. He will have to work it out. No relationship gets sweet and gets strong automatically and naturally. It is work. And he's running away from the work. I hope you can forgive him for the comment he made. And I hope you will not internalize it too much. Don't let it get to you and eat you up, please. For your own sake and for the sake of that silly man, please don't let this statement eat you up.
From from Nee. Uncle, in a situation where you advise people not to talk about their past, how do you openly talk about your sexual preferences? Because you may have learned these from your past experiences.
That's if they ask you, how did you know this one? No, but so talk. No, it's not. You don't have to talk about. Just that when you touch this part, when you do this, I feel this way, and I wish you could do more of that. I think something as simple as that will be fine. Don't give him a whole treatise on the matter, and please don't bring any witnesses into your testimony. just don't come. I like it. I like this. When you do this, I like it. I love it. But if he asks you where you got it from, tell him you saw it in the film. And you saw it in the film.
Which kind of films?
Oh, there are all kinds of films. I mean, maybe I check.
Okay, so from YouTube, Abna says, Uncle, my boyfriend and I were having a pleasant conversation, and all of a sudden he said, I don't mean to brag, but should you leave me, I'll get a girl today. Uncle, I haven't slept. Please help me.
That's Abina, right?
Yes, Abina.
Abina, go sleep. It means nothing. It means nothing. And what does he think? You two, when he leaves you, you'll get a man today. Oh.
This morning.
So don't. It's a fact. I think I'd rather be in a relationship with a woman who can move on when I move away than a woman who nobody else would want. And I think that you should also aim at being in a relationship with a man who is so awesome that there will be no shortage of suitors if he became available. So that should not be an issue at all. So Abina, go and do your sleep arrears. All right.
Uncle from Ellie on our YouTube page, he says, Uncle, will you now do an A to Z for singles?
That's a good thought. That's a good thought. And Ellie, I will need your input for that. So get ready.
From Kwesi, Uncle, talking about the bedroom, the kitchen is a wonderful place, especially some ice cream in the fridge with some peanuts.
All right, yeah. No, the point is that every part of your room can be exciting, and you can leave memory. You can leave memory everywhere. You know, create the kind of room where if somebody came and spoke to the walls will have so much to say to them. Yeah, let's go on, please.
Sorry.
Uncle, please,
Yeah, go.
how do you teach somebody to learn to forgive?
Oh, that would be difficult. That's difficult. You can't teach the person. The person will have to decide to do it. But those who find it difficult to forgive are often people who have issues with themselves and in their lives. So it is not just that that person cannot forgive. That person is hurting. It's hurting badly. And your role is to try to see if you can ease that pain that he or she has harbored all this time, and not look at the fact that, oh, he hasn't forgiven me. There's much more that the person may be dealing with.
From Percy Brown, Uncle, when you love someone who has changed 2 boyfriends with your awareness.
Come again?
When you love someone
Yes.
who has changed 2 boyfriends with your awareness, but you still feel that there is hope for the 2 of you someday, what do you do?
Oh, love, stay follow through. It's possible she's changed 2 boyfriends because none of them cut it, and you may be the person. So, hang in there.
Says, Uncle, I pray for strength and excellent health for you.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the book publication that's going to come out of these teachings. Learning about love with these letters has been amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Amma Champon says, Uncle, thanks for the insight. What do you do when you are the one always setting up surprises? Do you take it that he's a Gold Coast man who doesn't know how to pull up surprises?
Well, just thank God every day that God gave you to that Krasini. But he will learn. One day, he will surprise you. He will surprise you big time. Don't forget, let me make this statement. Some of these things I have shared with you 35 years ago, that was on me. I've shared these things with you after 34 years, or 35 years of marriage now. So people evolve. I have evolved. If you ask my wife, the husband she has today is not the man she married, and thank God. And so the man who may not be doing these little things, maybe it's possible he doesn't know. And doesn't know because, you see, nobody teaches us to love. Nobody teaches us about these things. We go to school to learn how to drive. We go to school to learn how to sew. We go to school to learn almost everything. There is no school to go to learn how to love one person of the opposite sex over a lifetime. So we all have quite a lot to learn, and hopefully we are learning.
Uncle Linda is asking, Uncle Nawao, are these for Ghana men?
Yes. This came from a Ghana man, so what are you saying? Yes.
Is asking, Uncle, can we start something in the Trotsky too?
In a what?
Trotsky.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Uncle.
Oh, yes, in a toto.
You can sit one behind the
No. You sit and you hold hands.
Oh!
No, hey, shut up. I didn't say you hold hands, Keke. Why are you people behaving like that? On marriage, so put in your application and let's see what happens. Unless that guy is your friend, please don't cross your friend. And don't cross your distance. But otherwise, if you fancy your chances, and the relationship has not become marriage yet, why not? Why not?
From Ikea, Uncle.
Except that when she says yes, never use the fact that she was already in a relationship against him. Yes.
From Ikea, Uncle, every time we get into an argument that we don't talk for days, I'm always the one to talk first to mend things up.
So
what do I
have
do?
a follow-up to the asking somebody who's already dating out.
Okay, so we'll come to this. Yes, let me hear.
So when she says yes,
Yes.
do you help her to plan to break up with the other guy?
Oh, she knows how to do it. Oh, she will do it. Don't worry. She will do it. Don't forget that courtship is not marriage. Or courtship, we are just checking to see whether this will work. And that is why I have an issue with people who enter into courtship and rule out the possibility of deciding that this is not working. Let's break it. You know, and it is on that basis that I'm saying this, that courtship is not marriage, and it's not. If it's not working, this is where you change. If you find somebody else, just that when you are breaking, don't give the dog a bad name so you can hang it. Just say, you know something, it's not working. It's not working for me. I want to move on. And not that you don't treat me fine and you are like this, and when I came to your house, your dogs barked at me. No, don't do those things. Don't justify it. You move. He will cry. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. This kind of cry, we cry for 2 weeks. We recover. Yes.
Uncle, every time we get into an argument that we don't talk for days, I'm always the one to talk first to mend things up.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Okay, I keep doing it. You know, there are people who feel demeaned when they apologize because their ego, their sense of self-worth is so low that they can't apologize. They can't apologize and still feel whole. So minister to him. So that's your ministry to him. But I'm hoping that he would overcome his own complex and insecurities so that he can say, I am sorry without feeling diminished.
From YouTube, Portia Ai says, how do you help one who always looks at the negative side of things?
You keep staying positive. But if you have not married this person, you have a decision to make because they will drain you. They will drain every energy out of you over a period. So you stay positive, but let the person also know this thing is taking a toll because it is taking a toll.
From the uncle, when is the best time to raise and talk about issues? Because in the likelihood, one party is still angry and not in the mood to talk.
Well, sometimes dawn is always a good time. That's if you are married. After both of you have had a good night's sleep, waking up your partner at 4:30 may be a good time to talk, and then and follow it up. Because you see, if you do it at 4, there will still be room for make-up sex before you have to dash out of the house. So that is 1. 2, when you are not talking about it, does not upset you even more. That may be a good time. When you get to the point where you know, I can talk about this and not get angry. I think then you are there. It's a good time to talk about it. The other thing you can do is to raise it. If it's not going the way you want, cut it. And then so you can come back to it some other time.
J. Emmanuel says, Uncle, please, what do I do when I'm at fault for the first time, but have learned my lessons and I've been trying to make up, but I feel she's not in the relationship anymore. She says she does not know what it is for us. What do I do?
Well, continue to bear fruits that befit repentance, as the Bible says. Continue showing that you are not the man who made that mistake and that you will not go back to being that person again. And you would get through. But if not, accept it as it is and move on. Allow her to move on.
From Catherine, Uncle, is it possible to fall in love with the wrong person even if you have a child together?
Come again. Is it possible to fall in love with the wrong person?
Even if you have a child together. Is it possible that you have a child with somebody but it's
and
still
not
a
love
wrong
the person?
It's still the person is a wrong person to fall in love with.
I wish children are born out of love. There would have been no issue about population control in the world. Yes, so having a child with somebody doesn't necessarily mean love. It's just a result of chemistry and biology. It doesn't mean that much. But don't also make too much of a fetish in marriage about love, because in marriage, love takes a back seat to respect, thoughtfulness, sensitivity, and all that. So appreciation and all that. So don't make a fetish of it.
Becky Jandu says, can you date more than 3 guys? I think she's referring since dating is not marriage.
You can have a network of friends, yes, before you settle. Just be careful, because if you do that often in our environment, you may earn yourself a very bad name. It would help if they all know each other, so that it's not as if you are playing them against the others. But I don't see anything wrong with having a good network of friends. Except that then you must remember that each of those 3 boys can also have a network of female friends, and you should not have an issue with them.
Yet another follow-up from Abna Tano. She says, Uncle, please, about dating someone else whilst courting. What if you have agreed to marry him? Are you still allowed to date someone else?
Oh, now you have made your decision, Abna. You have made your decision at this point. So unless you are having second thoughts about your decision, then go through with your decision.
Uncle Akua is back.
And remember that, as Jojo Ronaldo said in my play, The Comeback, the devil you know and the angel you don't know, they both know you. So just be careful. Yes, let's go.
Akua is back. She says, so Uncle, you mean I should continue to mend it? Oh, Uncle, for how long?
Akua, this is what you have. You can control yourself. You can't control him. You can manage yourself. You can't manage him. And that's why I don't want to cause you more pain by saying he should initiate it, because he may not. But when you do, I'm sure it restores the harmony in the relationship, doesn't it? So do that. And one time when you're having a good time, be able to tell him that, once in a while, it would be nice if you can also initiate the reunion.
Osman Amoshi says, Uncle, what should one do if they've already introduced a potential partner to their parents, but later finds the partner unattractive? Meanwhile, your mom is already communicating with them.
Unattractive? What do you mean by unattractive? That physically, at the physical level, those should be the list of the things. So then, what made you take her to your mother? Tell me. Yeah. So tell me you've seen somebody else who looks prettier. But then beware, because it could be a trap. This second girl may look much prettier, but when you get closer, you may discover a tigress there. So be careful.
Uncle, please help explain. Angry and bitter words cause physical, not emotional pain to a man.
Cause physical pain. It's like beating him. You tell him, you are a foolish man. I've regretted marrying you. I curse the day I ever met you. You are inflicting pain on him at the physical level as well as the emotional level. And that is why you've got to be careful with your words.
T-Tace Hayford says, Uncle, what's the difference between dating and courting? That I can date more than one lady, because if I tell a lady I love her, then we are preparing for marriage.
Yes, you are. You are. But when you've made up your mind, once you go in and say, I love you, I want us to build this one, then you can't date, you can't have another one. Do you understand me? But when you say that, oh, Uncle White has another play, I'd like you to go with me. That one, we understand. There is no commitment there. But once you make a commitment, or be a man or a woman of your word. And at that point, you don't have the option.
Adra says, Uncle, please, what would you advise a young lady to settle with a man who has children? And what counsel will you give her if the earlier answer is positive?
Adra, it seems like you've already answered the question for me. And I assume that I'll say yes. It depends. It is on yes, it is on no. It depends. It depends on several things. Are you ready to look after some other woman's children? So the first thing is with you. The second thing is the man. Does he want you for yourself, or is he looking for a mother for his children? So that his focus is not really you, but someone who would help him raise the children. If so, you're going to always come second to the children. And you've got to understand that. The third thing is the mother of the children. Does she still have influence? And can she interfere in your relationship? If she can, then you are asking for a bit of trouble. And finally, the children themselves, are they prepared to accept you as mother? If they are not prepared to accept you as mother, they can make your life hell. So don't go into this blind. There are challenges. So it depends.
That day, Shaba says, hey, uncle, what if you wake the person up and you start talking and he goes like, is this the reason you woke me up? What will you do?
Oh, that would be bad, and that would be sad. That would be so sad. I know that some men can do that, especially when they are still angry. If he says that, tell him that, but we still need to talk about it. We still need to talk about it. Listen, there is a story in the Bible I wish everyone who is listening will go and read over and over and over, because it will help you deal with situations like this. It is the situation in the Bible. It is a part of the Bible that talks about the Syrophoenician woman who went to Jesus looking for Jesus to heal the child. And Jesus made one of the harshest comments ever recorded in scriptures. He said, it is not fitting to give what belongs to the children to the dogs. In effect, Jesus was calling this woman a dog. But the woman did not go away angry and say, you calling me a dog, you calling me a dog. The woman turned it on its head and said, yes, but the dogs are free to eat what falls from the table of the children. And that stopped Jesus. And she got the miracle she wanted. So sometimes the comment may not be friendly, but don't internalize it. Turn it on its head and move on and get the results you want.
Uncle, from Catherine. But uncle, please, what if all your efforts to let the person understand you can't be with him falls on deaf ears for almost 6 years now? I'm confused and depressed, and it has affected my current relationship.
Oh, I'm sorry you are allowing this to get to you. So, recoup. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself. Don't seek his acceptance. Don't seek his validation. Let your acceptance and validation come from you, and then be yourself. Be whole again. And something in you will trigger his commitment to you one more time. Let's have the last question, and I think we can round it up.
Queen Latifah says, Uncle, please, I need your serious take on this. My best friend got married about a week ago, 10th February, so I had to be with her, with a bride at her house and help her. On Friday, my boyfriend called and we spoke, and he said I should call him when I'm less busy. Uncle, I was so busy the whole day, I only got time in the night. I called him and he did not pick. Called him again on Saturday and still he did not pick. On Sunday as well, I called and he did not pick. It's been 2 weeks now and he's not picking. It's breaking me down, but I don't want to call again. What should I do?
Go to him, unless maybe this is long distance relationship. Go to him and talk with him. I don't think that he's taking offense just on this. Maybe the two of you may have had issues already that you haven't resolved well, and this has only come to add to it. So if you can go to him and see what is going on, or send him a text, WhatsApp, and let's see what's going on. I suspect there's much more to this than you just said. All right. I think it's been, yes. There are more questions. All right. I understand there are more questions, but I'm sorry, I want to keep to the time because I really appreciate the fact that you sacrificed even that 1 hour for me. So I'd like to thank you very much. Next week, God willing, we'll do a review of all that we've done, and we invite you to join us. So you can send your comments, if you can do a video for us about the ABCs of love and what it has meant to you. That would be wonderful. But in-house, I'll get my team to talk about it, as many of them. That is, if they come to work dressed well, because they will have to dress well. Their hair will have to be cut and well trimmed. Their shoes will have to be polished, even though they wouldn't be seen on camera. And they should be in the socks without any holes in them. I'll inspect them and I'll comment on them to you. So thank you very much. God bless you. Stay blessed. And may the coming week bring you incredible joy, incredible laughter, and may your love life be sweet. May God help every relationship that is already struggling to be revived and to become strong again. Thank you for being with us.
Hello. They call me Uncle WHYTE. I am the CEO of Roman Productions, but I'm also very much committed to helping you become